From Illinois, Mr. Casten is now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for being here. I want to follow up on the discussion you had with Mr. Liccardo around crypto ATMs. Mr. Chairman, I'd ask unanimous consent to enter into the record a Chicago Sun-Times article titled "Chicago's Crypto ATMs Are Magnets for Drug Dealing and Scams on Older Adults." This has been a particular issue in Illinois, but obviously nationwide. I think in 2024, the FBI had received more than 10,000 complaints about crypto ATMs and reported more than $246 million in losses. In August, FinCEN published a notice that emphasized the irreversibility of crypto transactions on ATMs and noted that there's a high non-compliance with anti-money laundering laws among the operators of crypto ATMs. At a high level, can you give any sense of what you're seeing as far as the trends in suspicious activity reporting specific to crypto ATMs that we should be monitoring?
Thank you, Representative Casten, for that question. I will say that crypto ATMs, like other financial institutions, are subject to the Bank Secrecy Act, and some are more compliant than others. We are seeing, however, as we noted in the alert, high use of certain crypto ATMs as a critical way of defrauding Americans. So it's something we're looking at very closely. I don't have an estimate in terms of the industry, but outreach to that industry and in ensuring that industry is as compliant as possible is one of our key objectives.
Okay, I'm particularly interested in, as you dig through, and maybe we can follow up offline, about the impact on seniors. I represent Chicago suburbs, which, given the way Chicago is laid out, means that I have about 40 mayors who I have to keep in touch with of lots of little small towns, and one of them has a very low tax base. It's one of these towns that depends fundamentally on the revenue from a couple of convenience stores and liquor stores and not a lot of larger tax base in the community. And even in that tricky financial situation, the convenience store operator said they removed the Bitcoin ATM because the owner said it just broke his heart how many seniors he saw walking in there every day and putting money into the machine and then coming back later and saying this money's disappeared. We've had at least 20 states that have adopted or considering laws and regulation on crypto ATMs. Illinois did just enact a new law to require that operators at least impose daily transaction limits. Would you support similar federal requirements on ATMs to at least slow?
It's something I'm going to need to look into and take back. I can absolutely commit that it's something that we'll look into and work with Treasury leadership on an approach.
Okay, and I know you had an exchange with Mr. Barr against Way One, if I'm announcing that right. A part of what scares me on this, and I think we have done a terrible job this term in Congress, is we've allowed all of these transactions to operate overseas. The mixers are overseas, the transactions are overseas, and it's great if we've got the SAR, but then we don't have a way of getting in, right? And so I guess with the time that's left, is there specific statutory authority that you currently lack that would allow you to go after the bad guys? Like, I'm not talking about going after the good guys, but if you see that crime has happened, if you see that these pig butchering scams, where are you limited in your ability to prosecute?
One idea that was in the president's, the report to the president on the digital assets working group, and you saw it with our action on the Way One group, is we used an authority under Section 311 of the Patriot Act that was actually built for a different era, when the special measure that we used that was available to us was to cut off correspondent and payable bank accounting, which doesn't really factor in in the virtual asset space, but rather some newer authorities targeted to Russian illicit finance or synthetic opioids trafficking, 2313A, 9714. They allow us to prohibit transactions, all transactions involving a group like Way One. Now, we use the 311 authority on Way One to great effect, and we're able to. It's a very powerful authority. I'm very proud of that action, but. involving fraud in other respects would be a way that we could modernize this authority. And regardless, my team very much looks forward to working with you on any new authorities.
I see him out of time. I believe Mr. Himes has been active on the Section 311 piece, and let's talk offline about how we might tweak that and improve it. Appreciate it, and yield back.